Hi. Let's get the, come on camera. Here we go. There we go. Hi, I'm Tim Scherman. I'm your professor this term for English 391 and English 487. One woman writer or material culture. These subjects are intimately related, as you will discover. At least one is our subject matter, the other is our approach. But I wanted to give you a small introduction to myself and then to the course, or to how I got to the course. And I'm going to invite you, as you can see, to videotape on your phone or whatever, your own introduction. What are your interests? What brought you to the course? I came to Northeastern in 1993. So I've been here 27, 28 years. And been working on Oak Smith the whole time, and finally getting to get, so excited to finally do the whole course based on her life and work. I came to Chicago actually to marry my wife, Pam, and we have 2 kids. We live just north of Evanston in South Wilmette, and both my children are in this COVID time, still students, one in law school and one working on conflict studies, actually at the London School of Economics, but because of COVID, they're both home. So I am not in my house today. We're taking care of the plants in this house in Evanston, and so we're actually just south of us in Wilmette. But anyway, I was a professor in the English department and Americanist until a couple of years ago. I became chair, or I was acting chair, and was elected chair for another term just last July or so. So, I've got a few more years as chair of the department, but I get to teach one course a year, and this is it this time. I get to devote all of my energy to this one class. It's online. Understand that there is no obligation for you to show up at any specific day or time, but we are going to have some optional Zooms. I'm going to try to bring in some other Oak Smith scholars to, have a conversation with me and with you about certain aspects that they perhaps have investigated. But it's been a difficult time for me to plan this course, because I do have, after 30 years, I do have quite a bit to say about Oak Smith, and I don't want to give you guys a fire hose that you can't possibly drink. But I think I've organized it in interesting units, that bring you sort of groups of texts at the same time, and the whole time we're going to be learning about a very different approach, to literary study. And it's something that I bring to every class that I teach, and I have for the last, 6, 7, 8 years. And that is the study. I try to make the study of literature also the study of material culture. That is, at the same time as we're looking at the content of literary work, we're not just looking at the theory that might bring us a particular purchase, a particular angle with which to consume that content or to interpret that content. We're also going to look behind the work to the material basis that gives rise to it. That's hard history. And it could be, for example, a study of the publishers that brought Oak Smith's work to the public. A woman writer of her time. This is a woman that I think you've already read, has lived pretty much the whole 19th century. In that time, just going public, to quote the title of my dissertation, just going public was an issue for women, that men were the gatekeepers, and men continue to be, and maybe even can be argued continue to be even today, the gatekeepers to voice, to public expression. And it was certainly not, women were not looked to speak publicly, to write publicly when she was a young woman. But she made her career making her way into the positions that allowed her to get past the censors, if you will. And that negotiation is extraordinarily important to know how, not to take for granted. I don't think we should ever take for granted that somebody can simply publish what they want and get it out there. I mean, that is a huge issue that we're going to be working with all along this term. And it's something I always try to bring out in my classes. But materiality and material culture will, go beyond just, the publisher and their office and the economics of making books. We're going to go back certainly sometimes to the ground of the history that is being recorded. Throughout this class, I'm going to share with you the ways in which I have made place and the materiality of place a way in, and a way past the blindness of the present. Too often, I mean, this really what I'm after is a way to solve the problem of presentism, of reading whatever we read from the past only with the mind of the present. Too often, far too often, I think, we judge more than analyze the work of earlier centuries, especially today. And that's what we have to do if we're going to learn anything from the 19th century, or learn anything from Oaksmith. It's not that you can sort of think with somebody else's head, but you certainly have to analyze how a writer comes to write what they do in that time before you simply dismiss parts of it as regressive, racist, what have you. There are times you're going to find, even from our contemporary mind, you're going to be surprised at how radical Oaksmith can sound. And there's some times you're going to shake your head and say, wow, that's racist or that's classist. But please, let's work this term to slow down. That's what archival research forces us to do, is to find her contemporary, objects and contexts that are contemporary to the texts of the 19th century to explain that text. It forces us to learn much more than the work itself. We have to really work to understand the context in which it arose. So that's my angle. That's what we're going to be working on in the class. I have an overview video for you guys about the sort of nuts and bolts of the class and how it's going to run week to week, unit to unit. Please look at that, and then also give us your own introduction. Hope to see you out there soon. Try to get these up by Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the class, so we all kind of see each other, know each other. Make it a video, why not?